one understands the pressures that those inside Pakistan would probably feel. So most of the signatories on the letter are from former captains and cricketers outside of Pakistan, and there's been no pressure to put upon, former Pakistan players to get involved for obvious reasons. And you're right, Pakistan are here. It's the second Test match this week at Lord's. I spoke to Imran's boys, Suleiman and Kasim, for a piece in the Times some months ago. I'll be speaking to them again tomorrow, and we'll continue to try and raise awareness.
Imran Khan is one of the most remarkable characters of our times. He led Pakistan to a Cricket World Cup win before transforming into a politician and rising to become his country's Prime Minister. But he's been in prison since 2023 after being convicted in a string of corruption cases. Imran and his supporters say those cases were politically motivated. And there is now a serious risk that his story could end there. He's known to be in poor health. Some of cricket's biggest names have called for Pakistan to give Imran Khan humane treatment and proper medical care. One of them is a former England cricket captain, Michael Atherton, who's now chief cricket correspondent at The Times. And he joins us now. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. I hope you are too. What do we know about Imran Khan's conditions currently? Do we have much information?
No, not that much. I mean, the captains that you referred to, 14 of us sent a letter in February, but were prompted to send another a few days ago. Greg Chappell, the former Australian captain, was the man who coordinated it. And that was on the back of, there was a Supreme Court order that demanded Imran be taken to a private hospital for medical treatment and assessment. And he wasn't taken to the private hospital, he was taken to the government hospital. And then swiftly returned to jail. So there are concerns about his health and about the conditions that he's being held in, the detention conditions that he's been in for 3 years now. And our aims are to make that humanitarian plea, really, for both his treatment and his health. We make no attempt to interfere in the judicial processes in Pakistan, but are raising awareness for a former player, colleague in some cases, and opponent of those names that were on the letter.
And what has the reception been? I mean, have you had any contact at all with the government in Pakistan or with anyone around the government? Any kind of response at all to what you've asked?
No, the original letter got no response. I don't think anybody was particularly expecting one, to be honest. And we'll wait and see whether we get any response to the second letter. But it's a way of trying to bring some publicity to his case and keep an awareness of it. Nobody in cricket really had said anything until that first letter way back in February. And of course that's a big part of his life as well, which is why we're so keen to try and help and raise awareness.
And what's the pressure like inside Pakistan? I mean, Pakistan are here now playing a test series, and presumably the players are not able or maybe not willing to speak out publicly about the case. But is anyone in the country putting pressure on the government?
Well, one understands the pressures that those inside Pakistan would probably feel. So most of the signatories on the letter are from former captains and cricketers outside of Pakistan, and there's been no pressure to put upon, former Pakistan players to get involved for obvious reasons. And you're right, Pakistan are here. It's the second Test match this week at Lord's. I spoke to Imran's boys, Suleiman and Kasim, for a piece in the Times some months ago. I'll be speaking to them again tomorrow, and we'll continue to try and raise awareness.
Yeah, well, do keep us posted and let us know if you get a response from the government there, or any response at all. And of course, it's an issue that we will take up again as and when. You mentioned, though, the cricket, and we should ask you about that while you are here. The next test starts on Thursday. On the one hand, England have just beaten Pakistan in the first test, but on the other, we're back to talking about troubles inside bars and arguments and tussles over late-night drinking. It doesn't look good, does it?
No, not a good look. In particular, after Joe Root, who's the kind of new old captain, if you like, had said quite clearly. His first act, actually, in his second coming as captain, was to get rid of the curfew that had been imposed. But he made his demands pretty plain around player behaviour, and on the back of that, there was a story about one of the players in the squad who was actually playing for Durham, not England, on Saturday night in Derby. There was images of him being handcuffed briefly by the police. So actually, Joe Root's brought his press conference forward today. He normally does it tomorrow, the day before the game, but he's doing it today. So one imagines he'll have something to say about it. That particular player, Bryden Cast, has been dropped whilst an investigation is ongoing.
OK, so we'll expect to maybe hear something else about it today. England must be favourites, though, are we?
They're 1-0 up, and they're going, it's not a very good Pakistan team, if truth be told, certainly not compared to...
Don't take that away from us. Come on.
No, I'm not downbeat. England played very well at Headingley. They won the game comfortably, and high expectations that they'll do so again.
Can I ask you finally about Harold Larwood? You write in the paper today about an England great who should be recognised. What are you calling for?
Well, actually, this week, two of the greatest bowlers that England have produced, James Anderson and Stuart Broad, are being honoured in the Lord's Long Room. They're having a joint portrait unveiled. Now, not every cricketer gets a portrait in the Long Room, but many of the great England players have, and indeed players from abroad, former captains and significant players. One who's been overlooked is Harold Larwood, and along with the Daily Telegraph's cricket correspondent Nick Holt, we make a kind of joint plea today for that oversight to be corrected, in part because of what a great fast bowler Larwood was and the impact that he made. Bodyline, really very few players have given more to an England shirt or had such an impact on an Ashes series. But also he was shabbily treated after that Bodyline series. The authorities asked him to apologise for his bowling in that series. He was unwilling to do so. He'd done nothing wrong. There's no reason why he should have apologised, but he never played for England again. So that kind of shabby treatment, he then moved to Australia in 1950 and spent the rest of his life there. And we think that a portrait at Lord's would be a good way both to honour and reflect on his career, but also bring closure to the way he was treated after Bodyline.
Well, it sounds like a very good cause and a good idea. I will admit, though, that when you said a portrait in Lord's, I was thinking, I've been in that room. I'm pretty sure there were no cricketers in there. And then I realised we were talking about different Lords. That one's on me. Michael Atherton, Times chief cricket correspondent, thanks very much for joining us.
Good to talk.
Good to talk. See you soon.